If you remember a couple episodes ago, I found out that I had lost my queen in this specific hive here, and then I went and I did I took one frame with a couple of queen cells and I put it in a 2-frame nuke and I brought it over there. And as it turns out, I really didn't bring it far enough. A couple of days later, I noticed that there weren't hardly any brood left, or I mean any bees left in there. So I shook some more bees in there. And I'll be honest with you, it got so cold that previous night, that I'm not sure that there was enough bees to cover that. And so I went and shook more bees, 3 frames of bees into there, and they still kept coming back here. And I put brush in front of it to trying to get them to stay there. And then 2 days later, I moved them 9 miles away. And so this morning I went and looked at that hive, and I pulled it out and looked at the queen cells, and the queen cell that I had hoped that they were going to make was still unhatched, and that was, today's the 19th. I think I pulled that frame out on the 5th, somewhere around there. They should have hatched out somewhere around the 16th of May, and they didn't. And so I opened the queen cell, and there was just a brood, half-developed brood was in there, so pupa. So that was a failed experiment. Not to mention that there was probably only about 60 bees in the whole hive. So I ended up just shaking that hive out this morning in front of my other 3, and I just got rid of it. So failed experiment. It's all a learning experience, you know. I tried. That one didn't cost me anything, although I did sacrifice a frame of brood out of there, and that was another thing. I was looking at the brood that was left, and that was, like I said, 20 that should have hatched out. Today's the 19th. It should have all been hatched out because they were all capped when I put them in there. So that would have been day 8. They should have hatched out weeks ago, or I mean a week ago, and they didn't. So they're all the brood was dead too, obviously from shield. So live and learn on the experiment. Anyways, if you remember earlier, actually about 3 days ago, or 4 days, actually a week ago, I found out that the queen I installed here had died, had gotten killed in the push-in cage. So this time I put the queen in a queen cell, and I did not pull the corks. Just wanted the bees to get adjusted to her. So today I'm going to do a free release. I'm gonna stick her in here. I'm gonna get rid of the bees that are with her, and then I'm gonna try to do, and I'm just gonna watch and see what happens. If they kill her, they kill her. If that happens, I'm just gonna take a frame of brood from one of my other carniolans and give it to them with eggs and larvae, and let them create their own queen. So that, and just leave the hive alone. That's just my time spent, my money spent buying queens is at an end. Also today, I'm going to be setting up cell builder, a cell starter, and a finisher a colony for grafting, because I'm going to graft tomorrow, and that'll be a separate episode. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing it, so you can watch me and follow along and watch me. If I make mistakes, I make mistakes while I do it, but I'm doing this video kind of more as a journal for me. So we'll see how it goes. And again, it's just going to be an experiment, and the only way to do this is to the only way to learn is to really hands-on do it, and each time hopefully you get better and better and better at it. I did a bunch of inspections this morning on all my hives that I had installed, and honestly, they're all really doing well. So that was happy. I didn't do an inspection on these, but I did it up at the farm. So I'm gonna give these guys a little bit of smoke, let them know I'm coming, and we're gonna get started here and go and take a look at this queen and see if she can be released or not. Okay, now I gotta find another thing that I found this morning is my queen. Two of the queen cages had fallen down to the bottom, even though I pressed them into the wax, which was odd. A little odd. This is the honey frame that I installed. This is another, like I said, I don't know what it is about these black frames, man. They like, I don't know what it is, but they hate them. My bees. I'll always have. I won't buy any more. These are left over from last year. I figured I'd use them up, but just not impressed with them. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to put this little piece of headgear on first here. Bees have been really calm here lately. It's just absolutely amazing. I've been doing it more toward the morning, and all my bee inspections, the bees have hardly bothered me one little bit, so that's good. There's the queen cage. Doesn't look like, well, obviously she hasn't been released. Because she can't be released. So I'm gonna set this down. I'm just gonna take a look and see what they're doing here. Are they stinging her, or are they feeding her? It looks more like they're wanting to feed her, so I'm gonna give her a release here. Here, come out. Ooh, Jesus. There she goes. There she goes. She's out now. She's crawling around the frame, and they're leaving her alone pretty much, looks like. I don't know if you want to see her. There she is. They are, for the most part, leaving her alone. So that's a good thing. So let's stick her in the hive and see what happens. I am, oh, Jesus Christ. I am curious about her, though, for sure. I mean, she's not moving anymore. They didn't ball her up, but she ain't moving. She's just sitting there. Here she goes. Now she's kind of walking around. Okay. All right, baby. You're on your own. I did all I could. They didn't ball her up. Look at all these bees all over this queen cell cage. Isn't that amazing? So we'll check on her in about 6 days and see what happens. So thank God that seemed to go okay. I don't know. We'll see. Bees make things difficult for me. They say bees are very forgiving, but I haven't found that to be the case. Okay. They're on their own for a while now. Okay. Requeen, Carnolian. Oh, jeez. Oliveras. Actually, I'm just gonna. I did this on the 16th, and I checked it on the 19th, and with a release. Okay. Well, that'll do it. Thanks for watching and happy beekeeping.